Emotional to Physical Affair, Part 2, Part 1 down below. A week later, February 5th, I decided to expose to her family and friends. Mine already knew well before this. Got a lot of support, which was surprising, but I was glad for it. Found out she had been painting a bad picture of me to them, making everything out to be my fault. Glad I defended myself. Of course, she gets wind of this the next day, February 6th, and that breaks the NC. We talk briefly, and she tells me that she's seeing someone else. Not the original other man, but a new one. Wants to remain civil, even if we can't be friends. Tells me she wants to sit down sometime soon, face to face, and hash out all of this, including her cheating, or lack thereof. I told her I agreed, and to let me know when. No contact other than that. Since then, I've moved out of our apartment. She's been staying at her mom's, already found a female roommate and has a new place. Moving in on March 1st. Moved back in with my parents for the interim, while I finish paying off the lease through the end of March, and saving for a place of my own. Meanwhile, STBXW keeps trying to reach out to me. On Saturday, February 9th, reached out about our taxes. She decided to file separately. I agreed, and now finds she owes several hundred to the IRS. Not sure why she told me. Is she actually expecting help? I told her that sucked, but at least she had until April to pay it. Then on Monday, another text just checking in. How are you? Did the move out go well? Didn't respond until late that night, saying I had moved out, and left it at that. I know I'm young. I know there are plenty of women out there. I know I don't deserve to be treated like this, but I still love her. As bad of a woman as she looks like right now, I still believe the person I've known and loved for 11 years is there somewhere. I still keep hoping for that day when she realizes what she's tossing away and wants to try again. I know I would take her back, although with conditions. A lot of counseling would be needed. I see an MC. She'd have to rebuild trust, no privacy for a while. But I'd want to try. The thing I'm angriest about right now is that she just gave up, without trying. That I was the only one who took our vows seriously. Don't get me wrong, I'm keeping up with the 180. I no longer jump when the phone beeps, hoping for a text or an email from her. When I do get one, I don't have an impulse to respond immediately. I can put it down, wait hours, and in some cases forget about it entirely. I make no attempts to reach out to her, and to be honest, I don't feel a need to. I still slip back and forth on this roller coaster. But I do know I'm doing better. I don't need her in my life, I only want her. But I still want her. Yet at the same time, I know I'll be okay without her. It's a weird limbo, stuck between longing and hope, and a comfortable acceptance. She won't admit that she had an emotional affair. She swears the OM had no influence on her decisions or what she did. Yet, how else do you throw all of this away and turn your back within a matter of days? I kept telling myself she was in a fog. After finding out that her and the OM had fizzled, I had more hope. Then she jumped to the next guy. I know he's just a rebound, but still, if she won't sit still for a minute, be by herself and think about what she's doing, she's not going to realize what she's done until I've moved on and it's too late. Since leaving on New Year's, she's literally spent every day being infatuated with someone. January 1st to January 19th, original OM, then it fizzles. January 20th to 28th, comes clean, wants to be friends. We hang out a few times that week, talk almost all day every day. But then I get angry, tell her I'm not a plan B, and give her another ultimatum. She balks, tells me that's not what she was doing, and we stop talking. February 1st to now seeing another guy. I don't know if that week in the middle my chance was to try to bring her back around, but at the same time, I still stick by what I said. I won't be the backup plan, and that's sure as hell what it felt like. Still feels that way, with her every other day texts to check in on me. I know I'm spending too much time analyzing her, what she's doing, and why. Can't help it. In a strange way I'm looking forward to this face-to-face. I don't expect to break through her fog, if she's in one, but just to get some closure. Suddenly I'm reminded of when we dated in high school. That same thing worked before. We dated for a couple months, she ended it. We had limited contact for a few months, until I started dating someone else. Then she was back, telling me that she missed me, that maybe we could try again, etc. being so long ago. I have no idea if it would work again, but even if it doesn't, at least I get back out there. I just have to get over my own shyness and do it. I'm an introvert, with a little bit of social anxiety. I have trouble opening up to people, meeting people, whereas she would always make new friends. And apparently new guy friends. By the bucket load. Not sure why the idea of dating again scares me, maybe fear of rejection, but again I don't know why. I wouldn't say I'm a bad-looking guy, maybe just lacking self-confidence. But you're both right, she has no reason to even entertain coming back as long as she sees me as the safety net. I know I can't control her. I don't want to paint the picture that I'm sitting around waiting for her. I'm not. I have been getting out, reconnecting with old friends, having fun, hitting the gym. I see recommends volunteering, and I'm going to take him up on it as soon as I have some time. She contacted me this morning, trying to find a time to sit down and talk. I'm still not sure what about. She says she still has things she's bitter about and wants to talk about. And she knows that I'm still bitter about some things as well. Namely the she won't cop to. I asked her what she could possibly be bitter about. She has everything she wanted. Her freedom, a new place, a new guy, she's keeping the dog. I've been overly generous in splitting possessions. She replied that she didn't have everything she wanted, because what she always wanted was for us to work out. I didn't say anything back to that, but I felt like screaming, then why did you give up so damn quick? I'm not sure what I'm looking to get out of this discussion. I'm certainly not delusional enough to expect her to break down and ask for another chance. I would really like her to come to grips with the fact that she was unfaithful and show some remorse for it. So far, I've seen no indication she'll do that. But she wants desperately to stay friends after all of this. And if we're not meant to reconcile, I'd like that too. Somewhere down the road, not right away. Of course, but I'll never be able to do that if we can't get past this. I can't forgive her for what she's not sorry for. So, we'll see how that goes this weekend. Right now, I'm just worried about getting through V-Day tomorrow. I've never given that holiday much attention, neither did she, and I have no problem spending it single. Just knowing that she has someone else to spend it with already is the kicker. Going to have to stay very busy to keep the mind movers out. Sounds like a good excuse for a guy's night out. I'm worried about sitting down with her, once I'm there. I'm screwed either way, sit there and take her beating me over the head about how this is all my fault, or get up and walk out, which in her eyes would also prove that she's right. We haven't settled on a day, time yet. She said she was going to see what she had going on Saturday and get back to me. I think I'll just make plans of my own and get out of this. Maybe revisit it in a couple weeks. In the meantime, keep the 180 going, work on me, and hope that the rebound fizzles out. Funny enough, after talking about dating, or rather, not wanting to, yesterday, I have one for Saturday, just kind of happened. I'm still certainly not interested in a relationship, but what the hell. I'll go have dinner and a couple drinks. No matter how it goes, I'm sure it will help just to get out there. I kept dodging this sit down. She tried damn hard to make it work. Her, how's sad look? Hanging out with a friend during the day, and I have a date that night. Friday or Sunday might be better. Her, busy during the day Sunday, not sure about Friday. I'll check. How about tonight? Her, yeah, that works. Never mind. Forgot I carpooled to work with my father. So no car. Her, I can pick you up at work, then take you back home. This would be about 2 hours driving overall for her. Thanks, but no, I can do tomorrow. Threw this out as a feeler to see if rebound was still in the picture. Friday, or Sunday. Her, tomorrow's V-Day, no good. Hurt a little to read, but at least I knew. What are you doing Sunday? Church, then nothing much. We're still going to the same church, although obviously not together. And we've yet to run into each other there. Her, oh good, want to get together after church. Depends, not sure what service I'm going to. Her, well, it sounds like it has to be Friday. I can make that work. Sounds good. 15 minutes later. Damn, forgot I have plans for Friday. Sorry. Her 30 minutes later. Okay, let me know when you're free. Didn't respond to that. Don't plan on contacting her again for a while. Let her come to me. The way I see it, as long as this rebound guy is still in the picture, I have no interest in talking about us or our issues. She obviously wants to talk more than I do. Guilt. A chance to beat me up some more. I don't know, I'm not going to push for it. I did find it a little say that when I slipped my date into the convo, she totally ignored it. If she were truly moved on and happy with rebound, I would have expected a good luck, or good for you. Or you'll have to tell me how it went. Hell, when she told me she was seeing someone already, she actually had the nerve to say that she hoped I could be happy for her. And that I would really like him if we met. Yeah, right. When the shoe's on the other foot, it's a totally different reaction. So, a couple hours later I get home from work. My sister asks me if me and STBXW had fought, because she had unfriended all of my family from FB. Same thing with any of our mutual friends that were my friends first. Even a couple of her oldest friends, that I also knew for a while, are gone. I imagine that they read my exposure last week and might have said something. I had unfriended her a while ago, simply to avoid seeing updates, and she had called it childish. Strange of her to now do the same thing. Doesn't bother me in the slightest. It's only FB after all. I just find her timing and motivation curious, since she hadn't bothered doing this at any point in the last 2 months. Lashing out because she said jump and I didn't say how high. Attempt to get attention from me. Who knows? Don't care. Still sad to see her throw away some lifelong friends because they, I assume, had the gall to question her recent decisions. For Valentine's Day, think I'm going to grab a 6-pack after work and head back to our apartment. I moved out over the weekend, but still have access until the lease is up at the end of March. Some furniture is still there, and I can watch a couple movies, relax, and have a couple drinks. and I have a few things to pick up anyway. Now that she knows I've moved out, I have a feeling her and Rebound will try to show up there at some point. She can't take him back to her mom's, and from what she's told me, he has a few roommates of his own. So, I'm sure one of them will realize that they have a big empty apartment to themselves and try to use it. To hell with that, go put out the money for a hotel room. They're both adults, they'll do what they want, but I'll be damned if it'll be in our marital home, in our bed. Maybe petty of me, I admit, but I don't care. I know I'll feel better there, enjoying my own company. Whether they show up or not, then I would out at the bar, having to wonder if they're there. After that, then I'll look forward to the weekend. Lots to do, friends to reconnect with. Date on Saturday. Should be a fun few day. While going back to the apartment was a stupid idea. No one ever showed. Figured that to be a 50-50 idea anyway. By the end of the night, I was just getting mad that I had allowed myself to waste an evening on something so stupid. I guess I'm realizing that I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. So, my STBXW had a date for Valentine's Day. So, ducking what? Let them have each other. He can deal with her baggage, and with all the emotional issues that she hasn't taken the time to sit down and sort out. Serves him right for being so eager to jump after a cheat who just left her husband. Eventually the sheen will wear off, and either she'll get bored and run away, or he'll realize he's made a terrible mistake and bail. I know that as long as she's not happy with herself, she'll be happy with no one. That should make me sad for her, but it doesn't. I guess I'm not ready to forgive yet. I don't wish her happiness. Not yet anyway. And meanwhile, I'm moving on. In my mind's eye, I can see it. A new woman, a loving wife, and a family of my own. It's certainly a way out, at least I think. I still need to improve myself. I want to casually date, take things slow, but I know that the happy ending, the one we were supposed to have together, it's out there, somewhere. I just have to get up and go find it. I'm still in the tunnel, but I'm beginning to see the light at the end of it. I know the roller coaster ride is still going. Right now, I'm in a good spot. I'm sure it will still ebb and flow. That's fine. It's after midnight. Valentine's Day is over. I survived it. Just another day. Our marriage was not perfect. I had a lot of faults. I wasn't the most romantic guy or affectionate guy, but I didn't drink or gamble or have anger issues. I never hit her. Hell, I don't recall ever even raising my voice at her. We rarely fought at all, to be honest. When we did, we were able to effectively communicate, compromise, and move past it. No rug sweeping that I was aware of. We both seemed like mature adults committed to each other and our marriage, and when we hit a rut, I simply assumed she would stick it out and at least try. At one point early on in our separation, after the D-bomb had been dropped, she told me she worried that I would end up hating her for this. I told her that if she found she couldn't go on together, I would respect that decision, but I would only resent her if she didn't try. I still stand by that. Vows are supposed to mean something. I did nothing to make her run away at full speed into another guy's arms. All I did was stick by and support this woman through some of the toughest years of her life. Her father passed few years ago. She was a wreck. I was there. She has severe endometriosis. Sometimes the pain would be so bad she couldn't get out of bed. Required a surgery at one point. I was there. Because of that, we ended up not being able to have children. She always wanted to be a mother more than anything else. And this crushed her. I still don't think she's fully dealt with it. After a couple months of depression, I think she just eventually repressed it and we just stopped talking about it. I was there through all of that. And my reward is sorry, you're just not good enough. No hard feelings though. Hope we can be friends. I read all the other threads in this forum, and it sucks, because a lot of them show at least an attempt being made, going through MC. Still living together for a time. We did go to a couple MC sessions, but from the start her heart was not in it. The OM was still in the picture. And she dropped the D-bomb on me after the first session. Said she was only there to support me, but not us. So, I got angry, told her that if she didn't have a reason to be there besides pitying me, don't bother, and she stopped going. I wonder if that was a mistake. I wonder if counseling could have eventually cracked the fog. I'll never know. Hell, I don't even know if she's still in a fog, or if the 180 is doing anything to her. I know it's helping me. Which is the point, don't get me wrong. If the original affair partner goes away, and she gets another boyfriend right afterwards, is it a fog, or is she just totally moved on, even though it's an unhealthy way to do it, and I'm just chasing ghosts? I still don't know why all of this is happening. She's given me her list of things that I did wrong to cause this. But these are things I know I need to fix, and willing to fix. And none of it seems to justify throwing all of this away. Maybe I'll never know. Maybe I should have this sit down just to hear what she says about that. I don't know. Of course, her list of reasons are only things I've done wrong. She doesn't seem to take any responsibility for us failing, including her own emotional and physical affair. So, sitting down would either turn into her just bashing me and me trying to defend myself, or me arguing back with my grievances and her taking offense to that. Doesn't seem like it would be very fruitful. but I still wonder if I could at least gain some insight, or a small amount of closure. I got mad as I packed up my things, put her things aside, while moving, came across an anniversary card from October. And the words in it just rang so hollow. Recently she told me that October was when she decided that she was done and started checking out. I wonder if that was before or after our anniversary. Then I remember Thanksgiving, where we hosted both of our families, and as we went around the room giving thanks, she stood in front of all of them, tears in her eyes, talking about how lucky she was to have me, and how thankful she was. Yet supposedly she was checked out already. She's either lying, or she deserves an Oscar. I didn't truly begin seeing any signs of her distancing herself until a toxic girlfriend came back into her life. And she met the other man. Happened on the same weekend. That was a few days after Thanksgiving. Then things started going downhill fast. But she still is adamant that she did not cheat, and he had nothing to do with her decision-making. Bullcrap. Sit down is scheduled for Monday. I want to hear what she has to say. Curiosity kills the cat, I guess. At least I scheduled it on my terms, and if I don't hear what I need to, her taking some responsibility for what she's done, I think I'll be okay with getting up, walking out, and never looking back. I'm angry at her, obviously. I'm angry at her toxic friend that almost certainly influenced her to do this, knowingly or not, and then knew she was cheating, enabled it, helped spin the lies, and still came over to our place and small-talked with me like nothing was wrong. It's not as if I expected her to rat on my STBX. Although I think any notions of guy or girl code should go out the window in a marriage. But at least have the decency to tell my STBX this is wrong. I won't rat you out. But don't ask me to help cover it up. The height of my rage came today, when I allowed myself to think back on the night she left. New Year's, driving home from a party. The night before, I had finally been able to get a hold of her phone and had found out she was lying about where she was that night, and had gone over to his place by herself. Told me she was with toxic friend. She helped cover for her. I had confronted her on New Year's Eve morning, got gaslighted again. She talked about leaving, but I talked her down. Went to a party that night with friends, had a great time, but I noticed she was still texting him all damn night. On the way home, I said enough was enough. Told her I wasn't comfortable with her just friendship, and wanted her to cut the guy off, at least while we worked on our problems. Of course, she flipped. I was controlling, and she was going to her mom's for a while. Still swore that she wasn't giving up. She just needed space. I knew I couldn't stop her and didn't try to. As she was packing her things, I sobbed. So, did she. I didn't try to talk her out of it, or beg or plead, but I certainly couldn't stand there with a strong face as she did it. Before she left, she told me that I had been all wrong about her in the AP, that he had actually been on my side, telling her to give me another chance and stay. At the time, being so distraught, I believed it, and felt like the world's biggest idiot. I had been all wrong, and my paranoia had pushed my wife away. All because I didn't trust a guy who was actually trying to help our marriage. As it turns out now, that was all bull crap. I feel stupid forever believing it, and I'm infuriated about that lie in particular. I mean, the other lies, the sneaking around, are terrible enough, but on some level, I understand the necessity to cover your tracks, but that lie was so unnecessary, with no intention other than to hurt me. Malicious. Here I am, being walked out on New Year's Eve, and in my STBX's mind, she thinks I'm not hurting him enough already. Let me feed him this BS and kick him while he's down. Wow, all I can think is, what a C. We're going to sit down Monday and talk. She says it's about making peace and closure. Not sure for whose benefit. I'm really not sure how to approach it. It's tempting to go in guns blazing, burn bridges, and just walk away. But I think I'll be better served with a 180 approach. Cool, calm, detached, no begging or trying to reason with her. But of course, we'll see how it goes. No telling what my emotions will be by then, or how they'll fluctuate as we're together. I'm going to bring up that lie I just talked about. She needs to feel like crap for it. She needs to be sorry about it. She needs to acknowledge her affair and be sorry for that too. I'm not sure how she can still deny it. Her family, her friends, my family, my friends, are all sympathizing with me, and are in agreement that I was betrayed. She, and her toxic friend, maybe, are the only people in the world who still have their head in the sand and think she didn't cheat. I'd like to be able to get past those things. I miss the friendship I had with my wife, which was the foundation for our relationship. When we were hanging out for that 1 week post-separation, between her original PA ending, and moving on to OM2, I saw my old wife return. If only for a few days. I'd like to be able to get back to that place one day. Obviously, I'd still need time away from her to heal, but eventually I would want her to remain part of my life. Together or not. I know she does too, and I believe her. But I can't and don't want to be friends with the remorseless woman that has taken her place. Out of curiosity, I did ask her why she had gone on a sudden FB friending spree. Asked if her and her childhood friend had had a falling out. She told me that her friend had gotten pissed at her after my exposure. Good. And she removed my family friends so she didn't have to see updates from people who probably despised her. She keeps using this strong language. She's afraid I'll hate her. Afraid everyone will hate her. Worries people despise her, and because I know how much she worries about what other people think of her. I've always calmed her down. I don't hate you. I'm just disappointed, or nobody hates you, they just don't like seeing me upset. This time, I didn't. What other people think of her isn't my problem. She can worry about that until she's sick. I'm not going to comfort her. This is the bed she made. I simply told her I'd see her on Monday. Need to get a haircut tomorrow, way overdue. A little nervous, because I have no idea what I want. My STBX has cut it for me for the last 8 years, and I just let her do it the way she liked, because I didn't care. But if I'm going to get back out there, of course I have to care. Might just let the stylist have her way and see what happens. Then shopping for some new clothes. Fashion is another area I started to neglect after so long together. Not that I couldn't dress to impress when needed. So my wardrobe desperately needs some upgrading. First steps to a new me. I actually decided, about an hour ago, to cancel tomorrow's meeting. The trigger was another Facebook post tonight, a triple date with her and OM2. And 2 couples that we were, supposedly, mutually friends with. I wasn't looking for a wound to be opened, just stumbled upon it. Didn't realize I would have to block more people than just my STBX. At that point I realized that I'll get nothing out of tomorrow. She won't admit to any wrongdoing. All I'd get are more rationalizations and arguments. Any attempt to talk or ask questions about us and how we got here would be pointless. As her head is clouded by her infatuation with OM2, the only thing I would get out of it is the chance to tell her to F off and release my anger. But I don't need to do that face to face. This would all be about her need for closure, to alleviate her own guilt. I don't know her that. If she has something to say she can write it down or keep it to herself. I've said my piece a dozen times by now. She knows what I expect from her if we were ever to think of being friends again. If she won't do that, and I see no signs that she will, then there's nothing to talk about. So, I canceled. Did not receive a reply text. She's probably asleep by now. I'm sure I'll get a why tomorrow, and I'm simply going to tell her that I do not want to see her. The end. I'm weighing my legal options now. I'm in Maryland, so unless I'm filing under adultery, we have to wait a full year for an absolute divorce. There is no such thing as a legal separation here. I sat down with a lawyer a couple weeks ago, who, for about $15,000, would write up a separation agreement, waiving her rights to alimony, my retirement plans, etc. A downside to that is A, my STBX doesn't have to sign it, and if she chooses not to, I've flushed $15,000, and B, even if she does sign it, the courts could always throw it out a year from now. Depending on the circumstances at that point, like she loses her job between now and then, if I file under adultery, the divorce is immediate. My evidence of the original affair is likely not enough to prove adultery in court. And a lot of it would be inadmissible due to how it was obtained. However, now that she's dating someone else, and not even trying to hide it from anyone, besides her family, I believe I could hire a pie and get everything I need, and it would cost me the same $15,000 or less. Then file, have her served, and be done with all of this in a very short amount of time. She seems to be under the impression that separated equals single. She's treated this entire process as if it were a high school fling. No hard feelings, hope we can be friends, seeing someone else, etc. It still blows my mind. Getting served may be the 2x4 she needs to show that her actions have consequences. Or at the very least, I can get out of this quickly and relatively cheaply and begin moving on. Did not hear anything back about my cancellation last night, so I sent another text today. I didn't want her showing up and getting stood up, although I shouldn't care. She asked when I wanted to reschedule. I told her that I did not, and I didn't want to see her. She asked to call me later, and I told her I'd rather not. Just write down whatever you feel you need to say. Fine. I wanted to apologize, but if you're going to be a bitter, nasty, little child, I'll wait for you to grow up. There are some business matters I need to discuss. But in order to accommodate your ridiculous attitude, I'll email them. Oh, young love. The sheen wears off a little more each day. I sincerely doubt she wanted to apologize. That's just her way of getting me to second guess what I'm doing, and give in to what she wants. A sit-down or phone call. If she were truly remorseful, she would understand that not wanting to see my cheating STBX is not a ridiculous attitude, and she could apologize via writing just as easily. Duck her. So today, I suppose, marks the official ending of our marriage. I'm told by a friend that she has removed a bunch more mutual friends from Facebook. I'm blocked, but I did check it from a family member's account. She's removed the wedding photo cover picture that has been bothering me for 2 months. and her rebound are now official. With an anniversary date and everything, her oldest and best friends are cut out from her life. A family, mine, that she has been close with for years, even before we were together, gone. She has completely isolated herself within a circle of cheerleaders and toxicity. And I have no ability or intention of breaking through it. I hired a pie today. Before seeing all of this, I've been thinking about it for a few days. Now that her and Rebound aren't even trying to hide anything anymore, it should be extremely easy to get the evidence I need. Pi agreed. Case should be over by the end of this weekend, as I already know where he will be together. Again, too many people post things on FB thinking the world can't see. Once I have my evidence, I'm filing with fault. Otherwise, I have to sit around for a year and wait to file. And while she's currently made no mention of wanting alimony, part of my retirement, etc., I don't need her changing her mind 6 months from now and blindsiding me. I texted her today, kept it simple, looking for the money she owes me for the last 3 months of our lease that she stuck me with. She again expressed an interest in sitting down to talk. I agreed to meet her tonight for a dinner. It gives me a chance to act friendly and coax more info out of her about her weekend plans that I can then give to the pie. And I can hear what she's been so desperately wanting to say. At least I can go in now with no expectations of her showing regret. Not that the expectations were that high anyway. So, dinner was, I don't know, glad I did it, I guess. Her emotional and physical affair, I saw remorse. Finally, she said it didn't fully set in until she started going steady with Rebound. At that point her and OM1 were still talking about being very friendly. Then suddenly he pulled back, and stopped bothering with her at all. At that point she realized he had been playing her. To which I responded, no crap. She acknowledged that she never should have put herself in that position to begin with, since he was hitting on her from the start. And she found him attractive. Although at the start she still was only interested in a friendship, she recognized her lack of boundaries. She still insisted that he had nothing to do with why she left. He was only a catalyst, and in her mind she had already decided. I realized it's probably true. I asked her why she didn't just get up back in October and leave, why she waited for a guy to chase. And she started crying and said she was a coward. We talked briefly about my exposure to our families and friends. She was not mad or angry about it, although she still thought it was no one's business. She's lost a lot of friends and support over it, but she says she deserves that. That was the biggest sign to me that she was truly remorseful. I've read it somewhere else on here. Remorse is not caring what other people know or say, because you're already beating yourself up. Whereas if she was only guilty, she would still be mad about me telling everyone. I did not use the words "I forgive you," but I acknowledged that it wasn't easy for her to say all of this, and that I appreciated it. I broke the 180 a little bit, and at one point asked her point blank, if you say that you always wanted this to work, why did you quit? Her response, I knew it couldn't work. I retorted that she also knew that she needed to be single, find herself, and be happy with herself before getting into another relationship, just to let her mull over the idea that she's not as certain as she thinks. Then let it go. Talked about her Rebound a little bit. Said he had approached her about a relationship first, and she had been reluctant. Told him she wasn't ready. A couple weeks later he commented on the fact that they were hanging out almost every day, talking all the time, and liked each other. So it seemed like they were already in one. She acknowledges that it's moved really fast, probably won't last, but she's just seeing where it goes. I warned her to make sure his intentions were pure. If a girl wanted to get involved with me who just left her husband, I'd run for the hills. Because she had already been played by one guy. Told her I didn't want her to get hurt. She started crying again, couldn't believe that after all she had done, I would even care what happened to her. At one point, I brought up her comment from earlier that she hoped I could be happy for her, and that she thinks I'd like him if I met him. She agreed that was dumb to say. I told her I had no interest in meeting the guy that was chilling with my wife. She just looked away. Wound on that one. I guess I was hoping to hear we haven't yet, or I'm not ready for that yet. Ouch. I'll 2x4 myself on that. Her family is not really happy with the new guy. Her mother called her an adulterer. Her friends are a mix of concerned, upset that she's rushed into something else so soon, including the married couples we used to hang out with. I wish she would listen to them, but it makes me feel better. I had painted this picture in my head that I had simply been replaced with the next guy, and everyone was happy to move on pretending I never existed. Glad to see that's not the case. I told her I was really glad she was happy. This broke her into tears again. I'm not sure if it was totally honest of me, but once I get over my own resentment, bitterness, of course I want her to be happy. She's done a lot of terrible crap, ran out on a marriage, but that doesn't earn her a lifetime of misery from her on out. Right now, she's doing what she thinks is right, even if I and most others close to her disagree. But no one's going to get through to her. She has to realize it for herself. I'm still confident that this day will come sooner or later. She reiterated that she did not want to be married to me, did not see a romantic future with me. I know she believes that right now, as is usually the case with a walk-away wife. Believe half of what they say. A month, 6 months, 6 years from now, may be different. And hold that 2x4. That doesn't mean I'm clinging to hope or sitting around waiting for her. Finally, breaking the 180 again, I told her this. I don't know where we go from here, but I know that our story doesn't end here. We've drifted apart, come together, hurt each other, repeated a few times in our lives now. I told her that I was certain it would happen again, whether that meant as romantic partners or just friends. She agreed that there was too much history to just say goodbye and never talk to one another again. I told her that we should take things slow, no telling if one or both of us will wake up angry again in a few days. It's a hell of a roller coaster. I'd keep my communication business related, but there was also no reason not to at least start trying to be friendly again, engaging in casual conversation. Told her I'd wait for her to initiate that. She thanked me, and then we left. Overall, I think I handled myself well. I didn't get angry or lash out. At the same time, I did not let her walk on me, at least I don't think. I held her accountable for her actions. I pressed things until I got answers or apologies. I did not condone anything. I did not apologize for exposure or anything else. From this point on, assuming she does have interest in striking back up our friendship, to be available and engaging, but not overly so. Let her realize what she's missing, just out of arm's reach. At the same time, I will keep moving on. Keep casually dating. It was fun. I don't think I'm anywhere near ready for anything serious. But it was nice, building a better me. If she decides she wants to come along for the ride, great, let's try it again. I may very well find I can't do it, or don't want to do it. If it takes too long for her to come around, I may not have any interest at all, or be with someone else. If she never comes around, that's okay too. I know I'll find what I'm looking for eventually. On the pie front, I'm continuing with that. She pretty much spilled her entire weekend itinerary to me, including that she would likely end up crashing at Rebound's place one night. I'll give that to the PI next time I talk to him. Make this the easiest case he's ever had. I'm not sure I'll file right away once I have that evidence. I can keep it in my back pocket if it turns out she's not sincere and comes knocking on the door for alimony. Then I can pull it out. Otherwise, we still have 10 months before we can file voluntarily. That's a long time. I don't see a need or want to pull the trigger already, but I also don't need to decide that right now, so I'll sleep on it for a while. My comment. Part 3 ending coming today as well. Let me finish lunch first, and I'll get back to the ending.